What happens when a world is destroyed? Martians are one example of beings in our solar system who are in this situation. They destroyed their planet's atmosphere and hence all life. Beings in need of assistance at this level also include some of the dark grays. They are laboratory technicians serving races whose worlds have died or are dying and are seeking to reestablish strong physical form. And I'm reading from We Are Not Alone, the interdimensional communication book from Atala Dorothy Toy. So just sharing some more of that information. But I just shared the paragraph about dark grays. And Atala Dorothy Toy says they are laboratory technicians serving races whose worlds have died or are dying. The grays essentially are the foot soldiers, the gophers, the little worker bees of the Sikaar Empire, the Alpha Draconian, reptilian hive mind world, which planet Earth is in danger of. If you're on the wrong timeline, the negative timeline, then you'll be part of the artificial intelligence hive mind and that whole Grey's Anatomy, so to speak. But anyway, the dark grays are laboratory technicians serving races whose worlds have died or are dying and are seeking to reestablish strong physical form. The dark grays have in the past abducted humans to experiment on in order to understand our physiology in the hopes of either replicating it for their masters or creating hybrid life forms. The hybrids would contain the other race's genetic sequences along with the human ones in a physical body that could exist on Earth. In this way, the other race hopes to reestablish a physical base that can continue their lineage's story and development. Some hope to continue to evolve via Earth's field, and that's the morphogenetic field. Right now, Earth has good breeding stock because it has mastered physical consciousness and fully brought down spirit to incarnate as physical form. We also have a broad genetic base formed from many other galactic lineages, the 12 strands plus the renegade strands. So there is enough commonality to potentially bridge the different worlds. Many worlds have manipulated physical form and eventually created forms with highly advanced capabilities. However, this type of extended ability has sometimes come at the expense of vital life force energy, which is necessary for reproduction. These worlds have found that they need to reintroduce strong life force energy to their world. We are one option. Unfortunately, right now, our own Earth scientists are irresponsibly altering the genetics of our own species. Sometime in the future, we may well end up like some of the civilizations now circumspectly interacting with us and seeking a remedy for their dying world. These other worlds hope our stock can save them, for we contain within our own fields those aspects of the universal web of consciousness that they require to repair their own field. However, this interbreeding will significantly alter their own race and their own race's capacities. It will also alter our human condition. Their and our original intent for proceeding from the source to the goal is now going off in a totally new direction. Of course, who is to say, in an infinite universe of possibilities, that this is not an intended variation on the story anyway? The situation presents many fascinating but sobering scientific principles, the complexity of which I have not yet mastered. The basic situation is this: above time and space, these crippled or destroyed planets still exist. Therefore, at a different juncture point in their own evolution, they are alive, and that world can be worked with from there. Some of that world's scientists are attempting to travel through time to a critical point at which they hope to avert the destruction of their world or their species. Others seek to transport beings from the pre-destruction world to the post-destruction world to recreate the species. Some seek to introduce compatible genetic material from other worlds to re-energize their world. The latter is what many of the intergalactic scientists visiting Earth hope to accomplish. They seek to splice genetic DNA from human and other Earth species, plant, animal, mineral, onto that of their planet, and so reestablish their world's existence and evolution. These crippled or destroyed worlds are very large Merkabahs. In some cases, their scientists have recreated their world at a lower frequency so that their own life forms can continue. However, while the Merkabah, or world, exists on a lower level as well as a higher level of consciousness, an interim level has been cut off or destroyed. In this situation, the lower life form can only evolve up to a certain point, and the higher and lower levels must work to replace or bridge the interim level if that line of evolutionary growth is to proceed in a healthy manner. In this case, one is looking at the flow of consciousness that exists when a spark goes forth from the source, evolves, and returns to the source, perfected. Now remember, above time and space, this whole process exists virtually simultaneously. So what happens when an explosion rips out a major portion of its flow of consciousness? All action within time and space is affected, and in some areas halted, unless a method for bridging this space is provided. On a lesser level, there is a similar situation when a singular or combined life form or a Merkabah is cut off from their source because they have been taken over by or possessed by a destructive life form. The first life forms are the puppets of these other forces unless and until some master of consciousness or a collective of inner colleagues, guides, and guardians is able to rescue them and thus restore their connection to the core source within. We read in all traditions of the great spiritual masters driving out dark forces from people and reconnecting them to their soul, often described as the light. It is often recorded how the masters were thanked profusely by all the affected individuals, both those possessed and those doing the possessing, who were once more in balance, at peace, and reconnected to their own source. Interdimensional workers occasionally see a situation inside a client's energy field where some drastic action in a past life has disconnected the individual from their own source. We work to determine how to reconnect or clear them so that the energy once again flows smoothly. There is a growing group of human energy workers who comprehend this type of situation, and a perusal of the internet or a good alternative bookstore will lead you to many works on the subject. The information offered by these authors have both true and not so true information, and you will need to develop personal discernment to comprehend the truth for yourself. And it is my estimation and my encouragement to you, my dear and esteemed viewer, that you will need to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for further offerings from the Umbanda New Earth Ashram for compassion and strength as we continue to delve into this topic of interdimensional communication, astronomy, and as well as many myriad topics. You never know. Life is like a box of metaphysical chocolate. You never know what you're going to get.
Namaste, namaskaram.